We are interested in this program in showing work by St. Louis artists, but St. Louis artists who have a national and international profile. You know, Stephen and William very much fall within that category.
This show related to our childhood memories, Scouts or Sports. And when we were in 3rd grade, there was 4 siblings, and our mom posed the question to us. You could either choose Scouts or you could choose Sports. So Stephen and I have been sharing a lot of childhood memories growing up in the works that we're making, and we really wanted to explore those 2 things in this show.
Yeah, so we're going to do a performance of a piece called Dad and Lad here, and this is all about an experience we had with our father during a scouting event when we were kids.
Stephen and I make these handmade boxes that stack into these towers, and we do a very rhythmic performance where we open up those boxes that contain this shared experience that we had.
Okay, so William and I have been creating artwork together for the last 16 years, and we started by making hand-sewn, handmade boxes that we would group into these formations that we call landscapes, and they're full of processed textiles and then often embroidered with beads and pins and metal trinkets, and they involve our shared memories from growing up in St. Louis, Missouri.
A lot of the work that we do is with found objects, so we're finding a lot of old recycled belts and old beads and trinkets that are left over in factories, and we're bringing them back to the studio and we're repurposing them into these large landscapes. So for this show, Scouts or Sports, in 3rd grade our mom posed the question to us, you have to either choose scouting or sporting. We can't keep taking 4 siblings to both events every night, every day, every season. And sports won. For the main piece that we make, we do a performance piece of these handmade boxes that stack into this tower where we do a rhythmic performance where it goes from tower to landscape. And then we explain that memory. This piece is Dad and Lad, and it's about Stephen and I and our brother Matt all going on this camping trip with our father in Scouts.
There's about 65 artworks in the exhibition, and it's sort of evenly divided up between drawings, these landscapes, and then sort of installation components. And 12 of the large landscapes that are on the wall are really a pivotal moment in our practice. The curator really challenged us to focus on new work and pushing boundaries and going into new directions.
For us, it's all about making work that is relevant to us. And, you know, we kind of developed our own language very early on, moving to Bushwick and kind of just sitting with each other and developing art. And through that process, we've kind of come up with our values, which is spend your life doing what you love, be focused and disciplined, and collaborate.
Have you guys been talking to each other?
I go do production, he does sales marketing.
In terms of fitting into the art world, it's actually one of the beautiful things about working with curators, because William and I were our own universe, and we're at home and we're brainstorming ideas and we're thinking about our memories, and then we're building these works based upon what we want in our life and what we love. And it isn't really until we start working with the curators in the exhibition, and oftentimes when we read their essays, that we find out where we're fitting in the context of art history. So I got to a point where we're reading this essay from Simon, and he's saying, you know, oh, this work reminds me of Jean Dubuffet's work from the 1950s, and we're like, oh my gosh, who's Jean Dubuffet? Oh my gosh, what are the 1950s?
I think what's amazing about that is that Simon Kelly came in, and when he was curating the show, he really kind of streamlined and made a thread that ties through the whole exhibition. You're seeing all these new pivots in Stephen and I's work, but then you go down to the period room and you're seeing kind of like these moments that Stephen and I shared that really relate to our childhood and kind of who we are today. If you go into one of the period rooms, you open this red Lego box that is the original red Lego box that Stephen and I played with as kids, and millions of black carpenter ants poured out of it. And it's in the period room with 75,000 black paper ants pouring out of it. So we really are interested in this idea of these memories that Stephen and I shared, but that memory being in that period room relates to the Dad and Lad piece because they're all these ants in the sub-layers of those boxes.
One of our first values is to spend your life doing what you love. So we're constantly at a point in our lives in terms of the artistic process where we're both grasping for whatever it is that we love and then going for that. At the beginning of this process, we were both like, we want to move into paper and glass. And so then we started being in our friend's backyard and like rolling these tiny paper beads out of all recycled materials. And then that just started to evolve and evolve and evolve and evolve.